We've seen recently there's going to be a committee that will do a minimum wage committee, and they had asked for 1.8 billion, and then I think, is it 500 million that Tinubu had given them? That's something Mr. Peter Obi would never do. Okay,
cost of governance substantially would have been cut down.
Absolutely.
You mentioned, which is yes, in line with his campaign promises earlier. But some of these things you mentioned were also part of things Nigerians have been hearing. When politicians are asking for their votes. But when they get into the office, they face the reality, and then they realize that it is a different ball game altogether. The same thing we've been hearing from the Asiwaju before he became president. And today, the reality is staring on their face, that even the money they think was there was not even
Peter Obi did say there was no money.
Oh, so you felt there were money. Where are they? How can you unlock them?
No. Peter Obi had said Nigeria it's broke, it doesn't have money. That thing that people, if you go and watch the speech he did with the NWC of PDP, he knew of the reality that Nigeria was in. Even though the APC government, Buhari's government, and of course their supporters, which Tinubu is all part for, they kept saying that, oh no, it's not like that. They had another thing different. So he had talked about the fact that, look, this monies are not there, so we needed to work. We needed to get people in work. But you see that thing that you talked about, as Nigerians, we're very good with justification. We justify so many things, and we make excuses for people who are in offices. And excuses are like shoes. You always find the one that fits. So when people come to say, like what you said, that, oh, politicians before they get in, they always say this thing, and then when they get, all those things are excuses.
But it is practical. For instance, we're talking about the crashing value of the naira. And we talk about the fault lines, the reasons why all of this is happening. How would a Peter Obi government, for instance, navigate around these challenges, in a very short term, like we are seeing today?
First of all, Tinubu did not even tell you what he was going to do. He said he was going to keep his solutions very closely to his chest. Were some of the things when he was asked, bulabu, balabu, whatever, all of that went on. Excuse me, I'm just talking about what happened. These are realities that Nigerians know about. So he really didn't speak. Hold on, you've asked me the question.
The blueprint is already in the public domain.
No, don't tell me blueprint. We're talking about blueprint can be done by anybody. I didn't refer you to what was in the manifesto of Peter Obi. I tell you what Peter Obi said, because we've seen situations like Buhari where he said he didn't even know what was in that manifesto. You people should not hold into him. Okay. So what were the things that Peter Obi was coming out to say? On the issue of fuel subsidy, yeah, Peter Obi did say he was going to remove the fuel subsidy, no doubt about it. But he did mention something, that he was not going to remove the fuel subsidy abruptly, that they were going to put things in place. And that was where he talked about in stages, and that was where he talked about food security. He was very big on food security, that we needed to get this thing and then, plug all the holes. One other thing that I forgot that Mr. Peter Obi would have done is that the crude oil that is being stolen from Nigeria, we are losing billions every year. We are losing, I can't remember the exact millions of dollars we are losing in a year, in every month, but in a year it's equal to billions of dollars. The money that Nigeria is currently going out to go and borrow, we have it from our crude oil that is being lost. One, we are not meeting up to the capacity that we are supposed to do because of all of these laws. And we've seen even Chompolo coming out to accuse our Navy of whenever they catch some of these vessels, the Navy let them go. The current, the chief of naval staff, I don't know, they haven't removed it, so he said the current one was accused of taking $170 million bribe. But I think one of these newspapers, there was an investigation that was done about it. There has been silence, nothing. That can't happen under a Peter Obi as the president. For that to happen, he would have curbed all of these places. You see, those things we are losing will be things that he would ensure those monies are coming into the coffers of Nigeria rather than going into the coffers of a few people. Plugging all the corruption channels would also be plugged. So on the issue of the subsidy removal, like I did say to you, I have always supported subsidy right from 2010 or 2011?
Subsidy removal.
Subsidy removal, right from 2011 when Jonathan removed it. Because I did an interview earlier, and this question came up, and I said to them, as of 2010, I had trailers that were, I was in the transport business. I had trailers that were going to Lagos. They bring goods to the north, and then they also take goods from the north down to Lagos. Diesel was not subsidized. Diesel is what you use for commercial vehicles. Diesel is what you use for industry. Diesel is our commercial fuel. But yet we are subsidizing petrol that is more for luxury. Yes, smaller vehicles use them. And our usage was not in relation with the number of cars that we have. And that's one of the things that Mr. Peter Obi, we always use Pakistan, the number of cars and our own and our usage and stuff like that. So in removing it, it's not just to say, oh, you just wake up and remove it without putting measures in place, without ensuring that there is a buffer where the poor are not going to suffer. And you can't just remove it and begin to use money anyhow. That government now has money to use anyhow while the people are suffering.
Well, we're talking about governance.